Well, there it is. Hero Join. Also known by some as the fake hero. Which in my mind doesn't make sense because Liquid Hero was a B-teamer and Hero Join is an A-teamer, so it should be the other way around, I think. Like, Hero Join should be real hero and Liquid Hero should be fake hero. Actually, you know what? Actually, no, that's completely wrong. Bi Hero is actually better than all of them, so Bi Hero is actually the real hero. And like, Hero Join is like the other A-teamer hero, and then Liquid Hero is like the B-team hero who went to a foreign team. So, anyway, take that as you will. So, it's gonna be Hero Join versus Fantasy, a PvT on some map. Hold on, let me see what it's gonna be. It's gonna be on Ohana. Cool. Alright, going right into the game. Alright, in the bottom right as the red Protoss, we have Hero Join, playing for CJ Entus. Hey look, CJ Entus typed their name in all caps on their account. Look at that. I don't think the other teams did that. Hold on, let's see what happens when they mouse over SKT's thing. Yeah, look at that. Look at SKT being all newbie, typing in lowercase. Fucking chobos. Real men type in all caps. Mods, you have permission to ban anybody who types in all caps. So yeah, Fantasy will be the blue term. And look at that. Boxer back to watch his protege play, or one of his, not really his protege actually, I guess Uv is his protege. His protege's protege? Does that work? I think that works. Is there like a word for that? You know, because you can have, you know, a son and a grandson. Can you have a protege and a grand protege? Does that make sense? There's gotta be a word for that. Anyway, looks like Pro's actually coming in here fairly early. Gonna be able to sneak in before the wall gets down, actually. And oh, actually, he's not gonna go all the way in. He's just gonna harass the SCV. I thought he'd go in to just check if there were gases and then just leave, but he's actually gonna try and. Oh my god, he actually might kill this SCV. Oh, nope. A couple more SCVs being pulled off, but that's actually quite nice. And going to see one gas. Alright, so that probe should probably leave before the wall finishes, otherwise he'll be stuck and will die a horrible, painful death riddled with marine bullets. But he's actually being really vicious here. Yeah, he can't really fight that. But man, look at this, he's forced a lot of SCV pulling from Fantasy. Fantasy had to switch out like 2 or 3 SCVs there, so that's quite nice actually. And of course he got that crucial scouting information of the gas. Oh, he's actually going to block the wall from finishing, in fact. Oh no, he's having to run away now. And actually there's no second depot yet. He could actually finish the wall with a with an add-on if he wanted to. Actually, would an add-on actually wall that off? I'm actually not sure. No, I think it might leave a gap. And obviously it's kind of dumb to wall with an add-on. Oh wait, no, I guess not! Wait, he's getting a reactor there. Oh, that's interesting. He's getting a reactor and oh, because that's a second barracks. Oh my god, I assumed that was a factory, but actually that is a second barracks here. So Fantasy going for some very early barracks aggression, getting that fast tech lab. I wonder, is he gonna get, or sorry, getting a fast reactor rather. I wonder, is he gonna get a tech lab on the second barracks, or is he just gonna make like triple marine, do like a triple marine timing here with an expansion? This is kind of crazy. I don't know, guys, tell me what the build is! Tell me what the build is! Somebody tell me in the chat, make me look smart. And Hero Join has no idea. I actually don't know what he's doing though, I haven't been paying attention. Looks like he's just gonna go 1 gate expand. Oh man, this could be horrible for him. And it looks like we are indeed gonna have the tech lab on the second barracks. Gonna be getting stim, in fact. Oh my goodness, getting a very, very fast stim. So he's gonna be producing marauders, And double Marines here from that reactor barracks. Gonna do a 2-racks stim timing here, and Hero Join could be in a lot of trouble, having gone for that 1-gate expand and not knowing about this at all. But the thing is, he did see the fast gas from what's his face? Oh god, Onster, get away from that girl, or rather, girl, get away from Onster. If I was female, I would not stand that close to Onster. I would make sure there was at least a several meter distance between us at all times. Anyway, the probe now sees the Marines coming in, and the Marauder, so now he knows exactly what's up. And what is he going to do to defend, though? I mean, he's still only got 1 gateway done. He's got 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry. He did not even make a Zealot, it seems. So he's going to be very hard pressed to actually take this down. And of course, you do see a factory follow-up, as well as an expansion. Oh my god, what the hell? Why is his command center rallied there? What? Oh my god, Fantasy, what has he just done? He just rallied his command center next to his factory. Oh shit. That's got to be a horrible misclick. Oh god. Oh man, what have I done? Oh, okay. Whew. Oh, Fantasy, that is baller. That is awesome. It's like the best follow-up to 2-racks pressure. Misrally your SCVs. Oh, Fantasy, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. That's not how auto-mine works. He thinks auto-mine is like an aimbot. You know, like when you have an aimbot in an FPS, you can just like shoot in a random direction and you'll just get a headshot anyway. Fantasy's like, well, you know, I guess auto-mine means that I can just rally my command center somewhere and the SCVs will automatically go to mine. No! That's not how it works! You're doing it wrong. Alright, looks like he's fixed it. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I need to fix the score. I don't know why the score is 1-1. It is in fact 0-0. Anyway, looks like combat shield is now being upgraded. I assume this is right after stim, so he just skipped concussive shells for now, which is okay because he's pulled back. He's not putting on any more pressure. And looks like we do have a Immortal as well as the Robo Bay coming up for Hero Join. So just going for those Colossi. Looks like the reactor has now been added on the starport, so we're getting double medevacs as well. And looks like the Bioforce is now moving out with those first medevacs. Pretty standard timing for a Terran to just move out with those first couple of medevacs. The Observer is going to see it though, so Hero Join is going to know about this, but it looks like he's actually not following with the Observer. I'm a little bit curious why he sent his Observer over to the Terran base and is not actually trying to track these medevacs. Maybe he has another Observer on the way or something. I'm not really sure, but you know, you'd think that you want to keep track of this so you know whether the Terran's like dropping your main, whether he's poking the front, exactly where he is. And it looks like, oh, there's a stim, but not really going to be able to do too much with this, so a bit of a wasted stim there from Fantasy. I'm a little bit surprised he did that. Looks like he thought about moving up there, but then kind of changed his mind and stayed at the bottom of the ramp, or maybe he was trying to induce some force fields or something, trying to bait out some force fields. There's a nice scan there, going to take down an Observer that was spotting his army. But that's a bit of a waste there, especially since his medevacs just came out there. It's not like they have that much energy. And now the first Colossus is going to come out, but it looks like Fantasy is going around the side for a drop here, a double drop, and the main army is completely out of position. The first Colossus will be out. How much will he lose before being able to push away this drop? It looks like, no, Fantasy not quite going in just yet. The factory, oh, I think Fantasy, look at this. He's using the factory to draw the units away to the side of the natural while going in for the drop in the main. And here we go. How much damage can he do? Looks like got 1 probe so far. The main army is going back here, not sending all of his units, splitting up his forces, leaving some army at the front. He's got to be careful about that Colossus. The Colossus is going to get targeted down. Oh my god, the Colossus is immediately going to fall here. A huge win for Fantasy there. Force fields goes down, but oh man, that was not good. It looks like the battle at the front went a little bit better, getting a couple of those good force fields on that ramp, trapping a few of those units and taking them down, but losing that Colossus is so huge there. I cannot believe he did that. He was not paying attention at all. He just A-moved that group of units over to the drop, and just lost that Colossus there. Fantasy with a nice little move there, drawing the units back with the factory, doing a bit of like a Terran style retard magnet. Oh man, so sad. Poor Hero Join, poor Hero Join. But he's now getting +1 armor. His extended thermal lance is about to finish, but you know, he lost the Colossus, so that's not going to be so helpful. And we now have Viking production started for Fantasy. Supply is still relatively even though. Actually dead even. 99 supply now for both players. And here we go, the army is moving up here. Where's the Colossus? It looks like the rest of the army has to come down here. Fantasy, once again, getting a good position here. The first Immortal being targeted down here. It looks like some of the Marauders are stuck behind that force field. The Colossus goes down. But the thing is, half of the Protoss army was in the main base to defend against more drops. So Fantasy managed to engage only half of the Protoss army at the beginning there, although the rest of the army did come in. But he gets the Colossus, he gets him an Immortal, and pulls back with the rest of his units. So I think, once again, doing a pretty cost-effective trade there. And if we look at supplies, definitely 98 supply now for Fantasy against just actually 100 supply now against the 84 supply of Hero Join. And Fantasy, look at this non-stop pressure here in the mid game. And here we go. Oh, is he going to get another Colossus here? It looks like the Vikings now being focused down. Going to go down to just one Viking here. So Hero Join realizing what's going on here, realizing that Fantasy is just trying to keep this Colossus count low, and is doing a more active job of protecting his Colossus. Very, very nice move by Fantasy. I mean, he knows, you know, if the Colossus count gets too high, it just becomes exponentially more difficult to deal with. And he doesn't want, you know, Hero Join to go up to 3, 4, 5 Colossus. Just keeping it down to just one Colossus this whole game here, and now going in for a double drop as the Protoss army is moving out. Hero Join's army is completely out of position. He could lose all of his infrastructure here. A Colossus pops out at the last second, but there's a bunch of Marauders here. That Colossus is not going to do enough, I don't think. Although it looks like some Zealots warped in, and a nice little Sim City there is going to protect him and actually forcing Fantasy's drop out here. I thought that drop would do a lot more damage with the main Protoss force out on the map, but it looks like this army is actually now moving into the natural here. Fantasy, he's got a good number of Vikings, but there's only one Colossus to take out. He's probably going to want to land those Vikings now that the Colossus is dead. I don't know if his ground forces are enough here. Yep, he's going to start landing these Vikings. Looks like a bit of a weird land there since he was landing like right on the cliff edge. Looks like a few SCVs having to be pulled here. One Immortal left, a bunch of Stalkers left. That Immortal going to do massive damage here to the Vikings and the primarily Marauder force. But now the double drop going back to the main base for Fantasy. And Fantasy actually pushing this force back. All the sentries are dead here, and I think Hero Join should pull back with his army. No, it looks like he didn't. He decided to engage once again, but with those Marauders there, these Stalkers really not going to be able to do anything. So now Hero Join in full retreat. The counterattack has failed, and I think Hero Join was relying on that. Oh, getting caught on the way back. Oh my god, losing every single Stalker to those units that were in the drop. Very well done by Fantasy to catch those. By the way, Fantasy still doesn't have a concussive shell. Did you guys notice that? Like, those Marauders were not, those Stalkers weren't slowing down. But anyway, oh no, now there's two Colossus in this force. There's only a couple of Vikings left, of course, because he did land them earlier to help defend his natural, but is it going to be enough anyway? He had a lot of Marauders in the composition, and very nice little splitting of the units there. It looks like Fantasy is going to take the army, or is he going to take it? He's going to take down the Colossus at least, and now he's going to be able to kite the rest of the units, although without concussive shells, it's a little bit more difficult, but Hero Join losing those expensive Colossi once again down to just the Zealot Stalker force, which is really not effective at all against the Terran composition, or the Terran at any stage really. Game with units, man, they're pretty terrible. You need that AoE, you need that splash from the Colossi or from Templar or from something to give you the edge in these big engagements. Anyway, it looks like +2, +1 is now on the way for both players, although it's back, or actually wait. Yeah, it is on the way for both players. Or is that +2 for Protoss? No, wait, is that +2 +2? I think 2-2's on the way for Hero Join and 2-1 on the way for Fantasy. Oh, I still get all my upgrade colors mixed up. Anyway, Charge on the way as well. Here we're going to try and transition into those Charge Lots, Archons, and High Templars away from the Colossi. But still, a little bit tricky for him. Fantasy just now taking a third base, a little bit later than I think we usually see in this matchup. But you know, he's been putting on so much pressure. There's been so much action in this game that, you know, you can't really blame him for that. And now continue to put on the pressure, but there are a lot of Zealots there. Charge is only about halfway done though, but as soon as Charge finishes, that composition is going to be so strong because Fantasy has been going quite Marauder heavy this whole game, and Marauders are not the most effective against Zealots. Of course, they don't get their bonus damage. Looks like the Templar Archive's now on the way. Actually, I thought that was started already, but just now started, but that's okay because he's going to have a bunch of Charge Lots anyway. But oh my goodness, Charge is still not finished yet. Those Immortals going to do a good amount of damage. Nice Force Fields actually trapping a lot of the units at the top, but once those units die, the Zealots will not be able to engage with the rest of the army, and Fantasy actually does pick up a few of the units and rescues them from behind, or from the other side of the force fields. But I'm a little bit concerned because Hero Join is not making more Colossi, and his Templars, his Storm is really, really far away, so even though Charge Lots are good against his composition, I feel like without any splash damage, I cannot see any big engagement going very well for him. And here we go. He's moving out now. That charge is finished. Nice little stutter step from Fantasy. And here we go. Even though as I said, even though the charge offs are quite good against the Marauders, the Immortal's doing a good amount of damage from the back, just with good micro there and without any splash damage, this is not going to go well for the Protoss. And now Fantasy's moving forward once again, but more charge offs coming in to reinforce. The Immortal's doing huge damage from the back. Is it going to be up? It looks like it's going to be very, very close here. Fantasy once again landing those Immortals. And I think having lost those gonna land the Vikings rather, and having lost those Vikings, I think that's probably a good opportunity actually for Hero Join to resume Colossus production if he wants to. I'm not sure if he can afford it though, but the thing is now there's not gonna be any Colossus on the field. But actually there's still a lot of Marauders though, so maybe not the best choice. And he is going for the High Templar tech as well, so he probably can't afford it off just 2 base. So maybe sticking on that High Templar charge slot Archon composition is better. But obviously the end game goal of all Protoss is to get a mix of both of those units, get the Colossi and the High Templars, and of course all the charge lots and whatnot, to make that almost unkillable Protoss death ball. But off 2 base, it's not really possible, and we do see a 3rd base just now being taken by Hero Join, a little bit later than Fantasy's 3rd, but that's pretty standard in PvT. Terran's often a little bit ahead on his expansions. Now it looks like we do have a War Prism drop going to the main base, loading up with 4 Zealots first, and we'll be able to obviously do further War Pins as well. And this is going to be a nice little distraction here because most of Fantasy's army is all the way on the other side of the map here, putting pressure on Hero Join's natural. So Hero Join finally able to do a little bit of counterattacking, a little bit of pressure. Aside from that one big counterattack he did early on in the game with his Colossi, he really hasn't been able to be on the offensive at all. But it looks like his 3rd base is now under attack as well. He does have High Templar, but how many storms does he have? It looks like the 3rd base was taken down. I'm not sure if it was cancelled or not, but there's the huge storms on the Terran army. Oh my goodness, he had 5 High Templar here with 5 storms, and they're all used. Now he's going to have to make them into Archons. It looks like he did have enough for another feedback here. A couple High Templar do get sniped, or no, actually those 2 do turn into the Archon, and it looks like Hero Join is going to crush the army of Fantasy here. So giving up his 3rd base, but taking down the army in exchange. I think doing a pretty good exchange there. But he did obviously use all of his storms. Had to turn all his High Templar into Archons there. Lost a couple as well. So no more storms for the time being. So even though he's going for it looks like I was going to say he should probably not go for the counterattack. Because once again he's kind of missing that AoE punch that he really needs to break through the Terran army. So just gonna pull back a bit, just keep those units alive. I mean, he's got 3 Archons there and a few other gateway units. Those Archons definitely do not want to lose those needlessly. And we have, wow, 5 more High Templar warping in. Hero Join, I think, did have quite a bit of gas banked earlier on. I saw he was at like 100 minerals and 700 gas or something like that. So that's why he's able to build so many High Templars at this point, despite being on 2 bases for so long. And you can see actually on the minimap, at that 3rd base, he's immediately taken both gases there, because he knows he really wants those gas-heavy units. Whereas, as we can see here, Fantasy hasn't even taken that 6th gas yet, even though he's had his 3rd base for a lot longer, because the Terran army is a lot more mineral-heavy than the Protoss one. But these Ghosts might get some huge EMPs. Looks like they actually don't have enough energy. Meanwhile, some more harassment going on here at the 3rd base, and quite interestingly, all the Vikings seem to have died, so there's not even a single Viking there to go take down that War Prism. Oh, actually, wait, no. Oh, no, there is a single Viking. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, he should have at least 1 Viking, because that War Prism's been poking around for quite a while here, so even if he lost them all previously, he would have at least made another one here. And Hero Join actually looks a little bit nervous, but I think he's still in a pretty good position here. He's got his Templar tech up, he's at 2-2 upgrades, he's got good upgrades, and he's got 3 bases against the Terran 3 base. So as long as he doesn't take huge EMPs here, which he definitely might. Oh my goodness, is he paying attention here? Those Ghosts, oh, looks like the scan takes out the Observer. If those Ghosts cloak and go in and EMP everything, this could just end in 1 engagement. And here we go, the Ghosts leading the charge. They're going to try, and looks like they're going to snipe some of these High Templars. Nice feedbacks, but nice EMPs as well. Feedbacks most of the Ghosts, but they had already used their spells. And it looks like, no, there's enough for 1 more storm. He actually storms the Ghost. Oh my god, a horrible engagement for Hero Join. That was like the worst possible engagement. He could have had nice preemptive split against that storm by Fantasy, and I think Hero Join might just die here. He's lost all of his storms. He's only got charge loss now, but with good kiting, I don't think he's going to have a chance here. Now Fantasy finally has Concussive Shell as well, so he can quite easily kite those Zealots. And oh my goodness, that was not good at all for Hero Join. Now Fantasy actually just moving into the natural here, going to force an engagement, going to take down those High Templar before they have enough energy to get Storm, going to force them to turn into Archons, and now he's forcing Hero Join to attack back up his own ramp, but this is not even going to be close here. Oh my goodness, Hero Join plummeting in supply, down to 50-ish supply against the 111 for Fantasy. Fantasy taking everything down to the natural, which is already mined out as well. Hero Join is going to lose everything here, and Fantasy gonna give SKT the lead here in the StarCraft 2 series. There's no chance now for Hero. He's just losing everything. He's gonna wait for him to GG. And looks like Boxer's handiwork is starting to show some results. GG from Hero Join. Fantasy takes the win. Actually, it's probably too early to say that. Obviously, he's only been with them for maybe a couple of days. But I'm actually really excited though, because the thing is, every team that's gotten a coach from the StarCraft 2 scene has suddenly become amazing, you know? So Stars got Rewan first, so in the